Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Lois, and welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode. In the last episode, we were scouting out our future home, which I think I like the area for. We might look a little bit over there today, probably not. Last time we also went to the Nether. We went and found a fortress to get blaze powder from blaze rods and whatever else we could find. So I finished up what I was doing in the Nether. We are so getting invaded by butterflies. I actually found some citrus swallowtail serum, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, so we've got a lot of things. The butterflies also keep dying in my smeltery, so I've got some blood in here. Not that that's a big deal, but it's something to kind of note. Anyways, I have been working between episodes trying to plan what to do next. By the way, this is all the stuff I brought back from the Nether, and nothing really super important. And then I got the 10 blaze rods that we're going to need. So, between episodes, I also went ahead and cooked up a stack of netherrack into nether brick. I've got a ton of clay and osmium, because what we need to start working on is we need to get into immersive engineering pretty heavily. So I'm holding off on building the actual house where we're going to do everything, set up all of our systems. This is as pretty as it is, which it's kind of pretty. I'm still not big on the roofs. I hate making roofs. But yeah, so this house is just kind of temporary. It's not going to be permanent just because we're going to need a lot of space, and this area is fine. It was away from the village, so we didn't have any problems with zombies. But I want to go over there. It's going to be a nicer area. I think it's going to be slightly larger for what I want. And like, if you look at the journey map, it's its own a little island, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I don't want to build the permanent house here. I want to put it somewhere else, and that's where we're going to do it. But before we can really get into making a permanent house, we're going to have the issue of, well, I want to get certain things going before we do this. The reason being is, well, it's going to make things a lot easier. So the big thing that I want to get before we actually start building any sort of permanent residence is Mekanism. The reason being that Mekanism has really good power options for RF generation. So that's what we're going to start working towards. In order to get to Mekanism, we're going to need steel. Quite a bit of steel, in fact. And the easiest way to do that is going to be, well, the way that you're supposed to make steel in this pack, as far as I can tell, Thermal Foundation does have steel, but that requires, well, it requires induction smelters and machine frames. Machine frames require thermionic fabricators, as well as a ton of other things, including immersive engineering stuff. So it's not something we can really do anytime soon. What other ways are there to make steel? We could make steel through the so let's see, it looks like this uses just one type of steel ingot for everything, which is actually really nice. The advanced rocketry stuff, yeah, that's not gonna happen. That requires Mekanism. Arc furnace, which is something we could do. Alloy smelters, so Ender IO, which was going to require reinforced obsidian, really? Ugh. Which is going to require thermal expansion, which, yeah, it's a lot of stuff to get anywhere near what we want, and I don't think it's ever going to happen. So, not in this method. I mean, we could go for the industrial craft method, but I despise industrial craft, so that's not going to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to work through immersive engineering, and there's a good bit of stuff to do. It's not going to be awful, but we're going to try to get steel production going fairly quickly. So to do that, we need blast bricks, which is why we need the blaze rods and the bricks and nether bricks. So let's Let me think. We need 9 recipes worth. Let's go ahead and do 5. And that'll give us a little bit extra. But blast bricks are pretty easy to make. And there we go. We have 30 of them. We need 27 to make the blast furnace. And that's that. So that is a quest. We're going to get a loot chest. Let's go ahead and claim that. And if we want to make a better blast furnace, we'll need to make some other stuff. We'll worry about that once we have a good supply of steel. So I really want to see. There's a way to make steel in Mekanism typically, and I want to see if that is still available to us. It would be what is that machine called? Infuser. Let's see. Basic infusing factory. Chemical. No, not chemical infuser. This would be. I guess it'll work like this. So can we make steel? We can make enriched iron. Lag spike. That will still happen. Recording just takes. So I can play this by myself just fine, but recording actually takes a little bit too much too much processor and all that kind of stuff. So there will be lag spikes occasionally. So yes, we can make steel with Mekanism. So that's good to know. Anyways, let's go ahead, break some stuff so that we can do 1, 2, and make a 3x3 structure, much like the coke oven. And we smack it on the front, and there is the blast furnace. So if we want to use this, we've got to put coal coke, and it doesn't actually matter if we use blocks or not, I don't believe. Blocks of steel we can still turn into normal steel ingots, so it doesn't really matter. So that is all that we need from that. So we're going to have to wait for a little bit before we can actually do anything about this stuff. Oh, I tried to. No, just give me the iron. We're gonna have to wait a little bit before we can really do anything with all the steel. It's gonna take time. If we want to get the steel casing, we're gonna need steel plates, and the best way to get steel plates, it's 2-for-1 steel plate with the hammer. Alternatively, we could make a metal press, and that honestly doesn't sound like a bad idea. So that's what we're gonna work on. And you know what? The smeltery is great, but it doesn't ore double. So let's just smelt up the rest of our stuff. What is divisible by 8? I did go mining for a little bit, so I have a good number of things. Let's see, where is organics? I can never remember. Seeds go in there. All that stuff goes in there. I don't know where to put the forestry stuff. I guess we'll put it in here. Alright, so anything else that I need to clear out? Not right now. So the blast bricks, we can use those to make more stuff. Now we are going to need a lot of osmium. And once again, we can smelt up osmium for 1. Or we can smelt it up for also 1. So we're going to just go ahead and use that up like normal. But we'll get to that later. Anyways, let's open our loot chest. Ooh, a chisel. An eye chisel. Cool. Probably not something I'll use, but it's cool. Alright, so we want to start working with Immersive Engineering. Now, if we want to get a metal press, that is a quest. There is a quest line for it. We're going to need, for one, we're going to need some power. So let's get into some power storage. We're just going to do LV for right now. So we're going to need an LV capacitor, LV wire coil, wire connector, and wire relay. So LV wire and LV capacitor. It is night. Let's go sleep. Real quick, I want to see, is there pets in this? No. Oh, that's a shame. I like the pets. I was going to see if there was like a bed pet, so I didn't have to necessarily come up here and sleep. We could alternatively make stuff like, don't I have a sleeping bag or something? I'm sure I do. There might be a... isn't there a sleep charm? Yeah, we could make this. Make sleeping easier while in the inventory. There's the sleeping mat and a sleeping bag. Like, there's a bunch of things we could use, but we'll worry about that later. It's not that big of a deal. And so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make capacitors. Unfortunately, lag. So these are going to require some iron, copper, lead, treated wood. We're going to need some copper wires, which we can make from copper plates, which copper we can go ahead and get a little bit more of. You can hear I'm getting more blood from the butterflies, which they really like falling in here and dying. Yeah, we're at 600 blood. Oh, man. Unfortunately, I think the cherry trees are spawning the butterflies in because it's a forestry tree, and so we're getting a lot of suicidal butterflies. Oh, man. So, put the string away. We're going to need some copper. We're going to need some iron. We're going to need some lead, which I don't currently have any. I don't have much lead. We're going to need some redstone. We might need more copper. As you can see, I've done a little bit of mining. So let's go ahead and get a couple pieces of lead. And yeah, we're definitely going to need more copper. So once we can make a metal press, which a metal press, let's go grab our Immersive Engineering book real quick. And also we can grab our we can grab anything else, so like the treated wood planks we're going to need. So if we want to make some heavy machinery, such as the metal press, we're going to need a piston, we're going to need steel scaffolding, we are going to need steel. Ooh. Steel scaffolding. Alright, so that requires steel rods, which requires... Ugh. That is nasty. Okay, so we're going to need... Which is going to be easier? Is it going to be easier just to go ahead and go for Mekanism? Or is it going to be easier just to... I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, we can continue working on this stuff. Let's grab some more coal. How bad is it to make pistons? Aren't these like annoying? Yes, they are. They require a lot of compressed cobblestone and treated wood. So yeah, these are going to be kind of in short supply. Let's go ahead and get a stack of copper. And I wasn't expecting these recipes to be so bad, but a lot of these recipes aren't that we're currently working towards. So that's why I have a lot of the clay. Anyways, we should be able to make... we're still going to make the LV stuff. Basic power storage. Mekanism has power storage. How bad is it to make, though? Requires a casing, requires enriched alloy, so it's going to take a while to get to that point. So having some sort of energy storage would not be a bad idea. And I think these capacitors can be made into other things. Yeah, we need them for the higher tiers. And HV we can turn into cool things like a railgun or... oh, we're going to need them for basic capacitors. That's wonderful. Oh boy. Okay, so this pack is an expert mode pack, so it's going to be fairly complicated recipes. So, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised by this, but at the same time, like, there's a lot of things that I'm not expecting how bad they're actually going to be. So we'll have to deal with that as we go. Anyways, we have the capability to make copper wire. I didn't want to look at that. Copper plates. So we're going to need like 4 copper plates. And then we're going to need some shears, which I don't think we have, so let's just go ahead and make some. And then we can turn these into wires. And then copper wires get turned into LV. So next is the wire connectors and the wire relays. For those, we're going to need terracotta, aka hardened clay. I'm still used to calling it hardened clay. You do get a lot of these, but we're going to need more copper as well. So that should be fine. Alright, now one other thing we might do, because we're going to be just kind of hanging around waiting for things to kind of process, specifically steel. What we can do is we can start looking at some other things. We do need to do a little bit of exploring, I think. What time is it? It's like noon. Do I have any sort of portable sleeping? I don't think I do. Let's see. Antidote charm. I'm currently wearing one of those. We have some more copper in there. Yeah, I put everything in here just so you guys can see what all I was able to get in the nether. So do we have the ability to make what's some stuff that we could do? We could do a sleeping mat, portable bed. That's leather and leather tier 2. So we need either rabbit hides or ground traps, industrial squeezers. It's gonna lag again. Apologies. Hopefully I can get that fixed here soonish. I've been saying that for ages, but dehydrator, drying basin. Okay, so that takes forever, but we could turn meat into leather. Alright, well, we have tan leather, which is higher tier, to make backpacks. And that's kind of cool, but not what I'm looking for. So, I don't think we'll be able to make any sort of... Actually, let's keep that in there. Let's just do 8. And let's just do 16. I don't know that I'll be able to do any sort of portable sleeping right now, unless we wanted to make a sleeping bag. That might be something. So it's a bunch of white wool and some carpet, blue carpet. I have chicken in here as a drop, but chicken goes in with the food. Do we have any sort of wool? I know I organized this, but it didn't seem to work. So we can always go over. Let's head over to the village and see if there's any wool that we can scavenge. I know there is. I mean, I can see some from here. And then we can always turn a little bit of wool into blue carpet. That should be pretty easy. And then we can hopefully make what we need. So there's a bunch of pistons here. We are scavenging this all if we can. Alright, so yeah, I have no qualms about just kind of destroying these villages if we need to. Especially for pistons and things that are hard to make. And whatever we can do, really. So, how much wool do we have? 9. Let's go ahead and finish taking all the white wool from here. And then I want to just kind of look around. That's diorite, a jukebox, which is kind of cool. There's all of this, which is great as well. We can take as much of that as we want. This is all green wool. I do really like how the bricks look. We might use bricks because bricks look really good with the treated wood. So we might use bricks for our permanent house because I do kind of want to use treated wood as well. There's some carpets over here. That's a really cool design. We could also always just take another bed. And yeah, that leather. I don't know if that will do what I want it to do, so we're not going to worry about that. Alright, let's head back over to our house. We're going to make a sleeping bag, and we're going to probably switch things out a little bit so that we can make sure we have things running while we're gone. But we are going to head to go see something. I'll get to what once we get there. But it is kind of important, so might as well go look. But yeah, so we need to make sure that we can make blue wool, blue carpet in general, and go from there. I would like to get into Mekanism today, so we do need to smelt up the half a stack. Do we need the extra 4? So in order to make the steel casings, we're going to need 1, 2, that's 18. Okay, yeah, we don't need all of that. So let's put this stuff away for right now. Let's go ahead and make the rest of this quest. So it's something like this. So there is the connectors. And then the relays. And that should be a quest. We can claim our reward. And perfect. So that unlocks the next tier. We could start working on that if we so choose, but it's not really important right now. So let's clean up our inventory. I want to take like half a stack of this iron. And I'll probably go ahead and smelt up a lot of our ores. I'm kind of waiting around, so Mekanism does have a way to make it's a 5x processing for ores, which would not be too shabby. So Tinker's does have the high oven, which that's an old thing that was removed, and then it looks like this has added it back, this add-on mod, which does double ores a little bit more. What else can we do to double ores? I mean, we could pulverize them. Sag mill would do that, but that's going to be a while. So let's see. The crusher from Mekanism. Would that work? No. But the enrichment chamber would. So we can double ores once we get into Mekanism. That's just going to be a matter of getting a little bit into that. So I don't want to use up all the ores because I do want to ore double as much as possible. So can we make blue wool? Yes, we can, with a single piece of lapis. But let's make sure we have enough. Is it just 4? It is. Perfect. So there is the blue wool. We're going to need 2 sets of this. And there is our sleeping bag. Awesome. So let's put some stuff away. Let's open the loot chest, see what we get. Hey, Nutella. We can put that away. We can put... I guess this stuff can go in there. The treated wood, let's put in there, I guess. And the iron we want to keep on us for right now because we're going to come back here and switch out. Never mind. Let's get a few more blocks then. Let's get like 4 more ingots, make a little bit more of iron blocks, and we can let this run while we go do our thing. We don't need that. We don't need that. And we don't need extra food right now. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go head over to around where our new base is going to be. Oh, and of course it finished. That's fine. We're probably going to run out of stuff, but that's also fine. So we're going to head over here, and there's a couple of things I want to look for. And the big thing is, on the map, there is this white structure. That's an astral sorcery structure. I think we've messed around with that a little bit because I think we have the loot from it. I want to go see what kind it is, because before we can get into astral sorcery, which I know I'm jumping around a lot, the big thing is that I want to get Mechanism so we can get power a little bit easier, and then we can, and power transfer and power storage and all that kind of fun stuff. Once we can get stuff a little bit easier in general, then it's going to be better in at the, like, once we want to ramp up everything else. So I'm rushing Mechanism just for the ease of making everything else, but we also have options with, like, astral sorcery. We've unlocked that. We can start working with that. We could even go to Britannia if we wanted to. But the thing is we need to find a crystal thing. It's a crystal structure, and I don't think this is the right size. No. So we need to find more stuff. We need to search. That is a gigantic meteor that just landed in the middle of that island. That destroyed half of that island. That's kind of cool, actually. Oh, cool. I've never seen the horses. They look really neat. Alright, so there is another structure over here, but I think it's the same size. It is. So that's not what we want. We want the bigger astral structures because that's going to give us what we want. So let's check under this stuff. Now there is prismarine sea lanterns there, so that's good. Ooh, ender pearls, that's nice. And we've got another astral constellation. So we're going to explore just a little bit today. No reason other than why not. Oh hey, this is a Thaumcraft dungeon. There one is. Okay, so now that I know where one is, we can deal with that later. So just to kind of show off what I'm talking about, these are super duper important. If we want to make the luminous crafting table, which do I have that saved? No, of course not. Luminous crafting table. We need starlight. And in order to do that, you need to find a floating crystal commonly found in marble structures throughout the world. That would be this one. This should have... Oh my gosh. I love all the different types of cows and pigs and stuff. But this one should have, if we go underneath it, which luckily there is like a really easy way to get underneath here. This like area where we can one light up, but this is the floating crystal it's talking about, and that if we give it a view to the sky will give us what we want. It will give us the starlight that we need, and we're gonna need to use this for a while, so we'll get into that stuff later, but it's important to note. So this is where we need to be. I am going to go ahead and waypoint it because that makes the most sense to me. But let's see, waypoint, new, astral, floating crystal. Alright, cool. So let's go home and let's try to finish off the stuff we need to do. And we can start getting into Mechanism. So that's the idea. If we can do that, then that's great. Means that we can like start working towards a little bit more of a goal. We can start working towards collecting better materials and whatnot. It's gonna be a while before we build the house completely. It's gonna take a lot of time and resources, to be honest. And yeah, I've got a lot of series to prep and play. So it's both a blessing and a curse. It keeps me interested in all the different things. I get burnt out if I was playing the same thing all the time. I have before. But this way, it makes things a little bit slower progressing, but it does make it progress. So let's go back. Let's get into Mechanism, and then I think we're going to go ahead and call the episode. So, in order to do all this stuff, we're going to need a good bit of steel in order to make the things we need. Also, that was not chunk loaded. I probably should have done that, but oh well. And I also need to find better food sources. The cherry juice is really easy to get, but it's not very good. Anyway, there's a bunch of osmium, a bunch of copper. So we have a lot of things. Let's go ahead and put this stuff away. That stuff can go in there. That goes in there. That also goes in there, and that's good enough for now. Alright, so I realized that we could have just done this a long time ago and made a small backpack. And we can open this up and we have some extra slots. Can't we put that on our back? No. Okay, whatever. So that'll be useful later if we want to use it. I don't know if we will or not, but it's good to have. Alright, so if we want to make the steel casing, we're going to need 2 osmium blocks. Let's start there. So 2 osmium blocks. We're also going to need a reinforced blast brick, which requires 1 steel plate, and then we're going to need 2 more each. So we're going to need 5 steel plates? And so let's go ahead and sleep in the sleeping bag. We haven't done that yet, so let's do that. And we need to grab our hammer. We need to grab our blast bricks. And we are going to need some copper, which we'll get to in a second. So hammer these into the steel plates. We could also make steel plates through the other way we can make these is through casting them with molten steel, which we could do, but I'm not going to worry about it. Right now it's a little bit quicker. We'll probably want to do that later, but we take one of these guys and make the reinforced blast bricks, and then we put this stuff around. And the last thing is, do we have the blueprint for what we need? And we do. So if we want to put 2 of these, 2 of those, we can get 2 steel mechanical components, which then give us the steel casings, which is our gate mechanism. So that means that mechanism, speed or energy upgrades. Which one is harder to make? At mechanism upgrades. So energy upgrades are gold, glass, and enriched alloys. Speed is osmium, glass, and enriched alloys. I think osmium is a little bit easier to find than gold, so let's take the energy upgrades. That's also a little bit smarter, I think, because we're going to be struggling for energy first, and then time is not so much of an issue. So we are pretty much locked out of anything else for now. If we want to get into Exnila, we have to get through Britannia. Oh, Psi is in this. I've never actually worked with Psi. It's one that's been on my radar before, but I've never really dealt with it. So now we have the Mechanism chain that we can start doing. It's a tier 2 tech mod with tons of content for some of the fast machines, near infinite energy storage, insanely powered generators, and a lot more. Recipes haven't been altered much. The energy usage of most machines is far higher than normal. Leads to heavy machinery from Immersive Engineering as well as thermal expansion. So, okay. Let's go ahead and get our configurator. And so some of the first things you're going to want to do is the metallurgic infuser. You're also going to want the solar generators. But solar generators require solar panels and a bunch of other things. So I don't like that. The generators are actually not that bad. We could make that. But we are going to need to make basic machine casings or just a bunch of iron plates. Anyways, we will get into that stuff later. We have 3 steel casings. I thought it was only going to make 2. Did we get one for reward? Gates. Oh, yeah, we did. We also got a robot. Cool. And then a basic tier installer. Cool, we got some really neat things. I should check on extra pages. Anyways, let's put this stuff away. And next time, we are going to jump right into, well, more stuff. We're going to try our hardest to get a little bit into Mechanism. The biggest thing that I want to get from Mechanism right now is just access to power and power storage. So things like the energy cube, just a basic one, is going to be enough. It's not that bad. We're going to want a metallurgic infuser though, and those are not awful, but they're bad enough. Lots of LV coils, so we're going to probably want to start looking into, in the coming episodes, we're going to be mixing Immersive Engineering and Mechanism just to get through all of it that we can, and then we'll go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!